From the desert of Phoenix, Arizona, we head to the mountains of Denver, Colorado for race number 8 of the 2024 1UP Nitro National Series season. We are here at the beautiful Denver Motorsports Park, just outside Denver, where a lot of great racing is taking place in the Nitro National Series, both on the oval circuit and on the road course. But it's the oval we're taking on today for 40 laps around for all 42 of the Nitro National Series drivers that have made this race. And alongside me to bring you all the action once again is Duke Ansack for you today. And well, there's been a lot that's happened since we last visited the Nitro National Series, but I think the guy who's on the biggest run of momentum right now is Cody Goforth after that dominating performance at Phoenix last time out.
Yeah, I completely agree about Cody Goforth and having a fantastic outing last time. But today, he's starting in the 14th position, so not exactly where he wanted to be starting today, but inside the top 15. You're in the top half of the field, so that's going to be solid. And hey, I really am looking forward to today's race. This is going to be a fantastic thing to watch from the Nitro National Series, which every single week in and week out, we are seeing fantastic racing in this series, and I expect much the same from the race today.
Absolutely. We expect these guys to take every lane possible in this race, going from the bottom to the top, and even down on the apron if they so desire, throughout the 40 laps of this race. As we can now bring you the full starting lineup for today's 40-lap affair, and after getting his season back on track with a great third-place run at Phoenix, Ryan Griffin gets a pole here at Denver Motorsports Park to get his season even further back in the right direction. He's got Kev Shearer alongside him. These two are going to be real threats to win today, starting up on the front row. Riley Hooper, Cam Stevenson, Nicky Martinez ran at the top 5, with Goforth, as you mentioned, starting in the 14th position. He enters this race as the points leader, by the way, so he's got a little defending to do to keep that points lead, but he should be okay to keep it for now because his main challenger, Logan Williams, starts all the way back in 29th.
Yeah, that's true. So this is going to be a really fascinating thing to watch based on where people are in the points and where they're starting. You know, we've got a big mixture throughout the field of we've got some top runners starting a little bit farther back today. And then, of course, we've got Ryan Griffin on the comeback trail to try to reclaim this season, starting all the way up front, but a little bit farther down in the standings. So it's going to be a fascinating dynamic. There's a lot of people with not a lot to lose. And that's usually a recipe that's going to cause a really good race. So I sure am excited. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
So with that being said, we have 42 cars on the grid ready to go, and we are ready to bring you the action. It is the 1UP Nitro National Series 8th race of the season at Denver Motorsports Park, and the green flag getting ready to drop on the field to get this great race underway for everybody here to see it. Getting ready for some great action here at Denver. Ryan Griffin and Kev Shearer on the front row. Two of our biggest talents getting ready to show what they've got. The green flag is in the air, and we're already seeing some cars fan out as we're underway at Denver. Shearer actually got the better launch off the line, but Cam Stevenson in the 98's looking to make it 3 wide going into turn 1.
They are going to be 3 wide in turn 1. Look at that. Oh, but the outside lane isn't going to be enough. And it looks like Ryan Griffin's going to be able to keep that lead down on the bottom, but we haven't seen how much of a run you can get from the outside lane.
No, but it looks like he's going to get a push from that 69 of Riley Hooper. That should easily get them both past Kev Shearer, diving it off into turn 3, goes to 92. So we got 4 of them in a line, but Shearer's going to try and make a move on Hooper to the outside for a second spot.
Wow, Kev Shearer just moved to the outside lane and rocketed past Riley Hooper. It was a power move there on lap 1, but Ryan Griffin is going to be the leader as they cross the line.
And that is a bonus point, which he desperately needs at this point of the season, so good stuff from the 92 driver. But you can see further back, we're still 3 wide, trying to settle the ladder positions in the top 10. But for now, top 5 have stretched themselves out to a fairly decent gap. Top 8 now, single file.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people on that first lap. They took to the apron down in turn 1 and 2. I think that it's just a little bit flatter there, so you're able to rotate your car a little bit better. Let's see if Kev Shearer uses that to try to make a pass on the lead. It looks like he got a little held up there in the middle of the corner, so Ryan Griffin's going to start pulling away.
Coming off of turn 4 to complete lap number 2, Ryan Griffin's going to extend his lead over Kev Shearer by about 1/10.5. He's got a 3/10 lead going into turn 1, and this is a track type that he really enjoys, so I would not be surprised. I'm not surprised to see him having such a good run here today. But to further back in the pack, you see a battle for third shaping up between Cam Stevenson and that 98. He's yet to get a top 10 this season, and Riley Hooper.
Yeah, we had one in the wall a little bit farther back, kind of maybe possibly outside of the top 10 there. I think that no damage has been done based on what we're seeing from there. But yeah, this is a solid. We've had a lot of passing in the top 10 here so far in this race, and it looks like we've got a pass shaping up for second place as well.
There goes Stevenson on Shearer for second spot. We also want to make note Henry Thomas started this race back in 7th. He's made his way up into the top 5, looking for that win. He almost got it at Phoenix. Could this be today for him? As Stevenson pulls away from the battling pair of Shearer and Hooper, now he's going to try and set off after Ryan Griffin.
You're right. Thomas has been absolutely knocking on the door of a win as of recent here in the Nitro National Series. And I'll tell you what, today could just be the day for that 12 car. He's had a solid run to start this race, but you have to be careful because we're going to go through a whole tire run here in the first 20 or so laps. Oh, and we've got some smoke on the track.
Yeah, it looks like we had an incident on a previous lap that did not draw a caution. Looks as though it was Skylar Taylor, Blair in the 09, and Nick Breeding involved in that one.
So Skylar Taylor started in 39th. I guess that was something that happened. Blair started in 28th, though, so it was a back-in-the-pack kind of issue that we've had here. But you're right, no caution, so everybody stays out there on the track, and strategy so far unimpacted by that spin.
And Braden Vargas, another one that's made some big moves in this race so far. He started this race back in 11th. He's currently picked off 4 cars, make that 5, with his pass on Ryan Arnold to move up into the 6th position. This 0 car, of course, has a win already this season at Circuit of the Americas, but he'd love to get another one, especially considering he's teetering on the edge of that playoff battle.
Yeah, it's true. And Varga, you know, obviously that win already in this season is fantastic, but that was a road course win. So now we're looking at a big high-speed oval here for Braden Varga. That could be a really solid way to kind of pad that resume for this season and also continue that charge up into the playoff hunt.
But right now, it looks as though Cam Stevenson's drawing ever closer to that 92's back bumper. This 98, of course, hasn't had a top 10 yet this season. That could very well change here today, as considering the speed of that 98 machine. And he's getting closer and closer to Ryan Griffin's bumper every lap. It's just a matter of time, I feel, before he's challenging for the lead.
Yeah, it's true. So he's close enough now that he is getting the effect of the draft of our leader, and he's able to draft up to him a little bit down the straightaway, but as soon as he gets into that corner, the draft turns into dirty air. It hurts your downforce, and it hurts your ability to get through the corner. So you'll see him go through the corner at a little bit of a different lane than Ryan Griffin, which is actually going to hurt him because he's not able to take the line he wants, which is where Ryan Griffin's running. But that draft down the straightaway is helping him a lot. You can see him really gain a lot of time there, and then he's able to get close enough, and he's possibly going to be close enough to make a move in the coming laps.
He might have lost a little bit of time on this lap. We shall see when they get to the start-finish line here. And margin at the stripe, yeah, he lost about half a tenth on that lap. Not really anything to worry about. It's so marginal here. But he's got to be careful now, because the longer he takes to get by that 92, he sees that 69 right back there, and the 20. So these guys are all closing in on the 92 and 98. We could have a 4-car battle out of this.
Yeah, the 20 car kind of laid off a little bit to start this race, and then now he's starting to get back into it a little bit, and now we have a battle for the 5th position here between Braden Varga, who's been on the climb in this race all the way up from the 11th position, just lost a little bit of time out of the corner there, but he's working on Henry Thomas, who has also been on the climb in this race. So a couple of cars right here that need a good result, and they're working their way up.
Oh, trouble in turn 4! Big crash in turn 4. Several, at least half a dozen involved in this one.
That's 77 cars upside down right now. The caution is out, like you said, and this is a huge one. We've got at least 8 cars involved.
Yeah, Cameron Brennan making just his 3rd career start. He's involved in this wreck. Brian Reed in the 28, that's the teammate to Cam Stevenson. He's also going to be likely out of this race. And this is going to be good news, at least for Taylor and Breeding. They're going to be able to catch back up to the tail of the field. But Benjamin Snyder's day is going to be over. David Meskey, the Daytona winner. Maston Rimmel, his teammate. Austin Hiller in the 84, also with some significant damage. This feels like it's a bit early of a caution for these guys to come in and make their pit stop, because they can't make it the entire distance from here.
Yeah, just looking at a little bit of the math there, I wouldn't expect anybody to pit here. It's just too far outside the window, even if you were a little bit desperate for a strategy move here. It could be interesting if you pit here, and then you could take less fuel on your next stop. Not sure if it's worth losing the track position, though. As you can see, there's only a couple takers at the back, and they have damage.
Yeah, so Blair and McFadden in the 27, they've got damage. Breeding's going to get some fresh tires on that thing, but a significant crash on lap number 8 has put us under the caution flag for the first time today. A very heavy pile-up in turns 3 and 4 that has wiped 7 cars out of this race. So it looks like it starts back here with Ryan Reed in the 28. He goes high to try and find some clean air on that car, but it looks... Oh, Tegan Fox with a big run up the outside. Gets into the back of the 28, and from here on, everybody here is just a victim of circumstance.
Wow, and nobody is slowing down, and that's a head-on impact. Look at this, and the 77 up on...
The 42 basically shoveled up the 77 on his nose. That's very uncommon.
Yeah, he pirouetting down the straightaway. That was incredible. What a terrible accident. I mean, yeah, it was just a big run from the inside lane, gone bad on the outside, nowhere to go. And then everybody piled in. Wow.
We'll get you one more look at this. Ryan Reed, I don't think he did anything wrong. He was just trying to get some clean air on the nose of that pedigree Ford, but the 78 just gets a huge run off the back of Mac Johnson, and then there's nowhere for Fox or Ryan Reed to go. And then these guys especially have nowhere to go, considering the speed they're carrying. Oh, Brennan went head-on into the 28, and there's Nathan Meyer getting lifted like a shovel up into the air.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it looked like everybody on that inside lane started to check up a little bit, and then the big run happened, and just the 28 also checked up at the perfectly wrong time, and that's what led to the contact there. And then as they were all spinning, they kind of stayed on the same spot on the track. Nobody could predict where they were going to go. They were all moving, and there just wasn't enough room for everybody speeding past. Caused a big crash right there. But that's what happens here. These big high-speed ovals, just when somebody starts slowing down, somebody starts spinning, there's just really nowhere for anybody to go as they come speeding by. I mean, it's just it's a tough break situation for all those drivers. Hopefully everybody's okay, and hey, we'll continue with this race now with a bit of a mix-up as far as strategy is concerned. We're on lap 11. We have the caution come out, so everybody's going to save a little bit of fuel under this caution, so maybe it'll allow you to go longer than you would have into this race. We're going to make one pit stop today, so we'll see how that all plays out in the next 10 to 12 laps, I think.
Yeah, we're 7 cars out of the race. We still have 35 running, and they're all on the lead lap. The bottom 3 in the order, Blair, Breeding, and McFadden, they all pitted and got some fresh tires and some fuel, as well as some damage repair on those cars. So they should be able to go a little longer, maybe, than these guys on their next cycle. That could be an interesting factor as well for the rest of this race, as I believe the lights should be going out on the pace car right about here. Yes, they do. So we'll have one lap more under caution, and then we'll get this race back underway on lap 13.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that could open up an interesting strategy for those who did make that pit stop. I don't know if it's going to come into play. I'm not sure if they'll be close enough to the front for this to make a big difference, but they could go long enough now that taking 2 tires on the next stop could become an option for them. So that's something to watch out for. Maybe take 2 tires on your green flag pit stop, cut that stop, the amount of time you take in the pits in half, and then possibly gain a lot of positions there. I'm not sure how close to the front they'll be able to get with that, being all the way in the back now, losing all that track position. But we'll just have to see how this run plays out as we go green next time by.
Yeah, it's going to be a gamble because the tire fall off here is quite significant, and it looks like Tegan Fox also has a problem in that 78. Remember, they were the car that touched off that big crash. Maybe there's something they missed on the first go-around to pit road that they didn't see it originally. But I believe this 78 is going to be hitting pit road with the pace car as we're going to get ready for this restart. Because, look, it looks like the 83 and the 31 are starting to close up the pack.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. It looks like 78 is definitely coming down the pit lane, and everybody knows it. So, yeah, Logan Williams decided there to just close up that hole and take the position and say thank you very much on the way to the restart here.
We're gonna confirm that the 78 is in fact on its way to pit road before we focus back in on the lead. With the pace car already presumably on pit road already, yeah, 78's pulling in this time. So we're getting ready for the restart with 34 cars taking that restart. Ryan Griffin leads them back to green right here.
A bunch of people jumped to the top lane as they went green right there. I'm not sure if that's exactly where you would have wanted to go, but everybody did it, so they must know more than I do about that. So they're going down in the corner. I would have wanted to be on the bottom so you could make that move, big dive ball move into the corner, but nobody was able to make a move on Ryan Griffin, who is already pulling away from everybody else as they go too wide behind.
Yeah, it looks like the top 5 have sorted it out. Now 6, 7 now. The first side-by-side battle is for 8th between Varga and Martinez back there. So top 8 have stretched themselves out single file, but you're right, Ryan Griffin has stretched out to a very impressive lead over Cam Stevenson. And coming off a turn 4 to complete lap number 13, first lap after the restart, 92 comfortably out front, but there's a lot of challengers waiting in the wings.
Yeah, now the 98 car once again, Cam Stevenson, just going to be able to use that draft on the straightaway and look for third. Looks like we almost had a little bit of contact to the back of the 20 car for 30. Looks like they're really stacked up for that position back there. But meanwhile, Cam Stevenson really in a good position. We saw him good down the back straightaway on the last run.
And you see Tegan Fox back on the racetrack after that. After addressing that issue, so they are still on the lead lap, just very far behind the race leader, almost 35 seconds behind. So they're gonna need another caution to get back into this thing. But tough break for that 78. It's just been a season of tough breaks for them. They've gained impressive form as of late, but this is just another issue that they're gonna have to figure out for the rest of the day, as we're closing in already on half race distance.
Look how close Cam Stevenson is now to taking a chance with a chance to make a move for the lead here. And then it has also allowed Kev Shearer to close right up on this battle as well. And there's contact between all 3 of them, and they all hold it together. Incredible racing.
Yeah, that's going to stack them up, though. That's going to cause Stevenson and Shearer to lose a bit of momentum off the corner. Gives the 92 an opportunity to try and run away, and it also gives the 69 of Hooper an opportunity to join this battle.
Yeah, Riley Hooper's going to be part of it as well, and that's going to really just make things even better up front. This has been stunning so far since the restart, that we have these 4 cars all battling under a blanket for the lead. Ryan Griffin does not look as powerful as he once did in this race right now, because that 98 car is all over the back bumper.
And remember, we still have a pit stop to go in this race as Stevenson makes a mark on the back bumper to 92. But we still have a pit stop to go in this race, and there is about 2.5 seconds of fall off here. So an undercut is quite powerful. If any of these 3, or maybe even Thomas or Weaver back there, if one of them gets the jump on the 92 pits a lap before, that could really turn the tides of this race.
That will be absolutely the right move, especially now that I think that our pit stop window has actually moved closer to the end of this race based on that first caution we had, being pretty much splitting that first run in half. I think that we're going to have the opportunity to be able to execute an undercut without having to do any sort of fuel saving. And look at this. Cam Stevenson has had just about enough of Ryan Griffin leading this race every single time into turn 3. That 98 car is right up on the bumper of our leader and trying to make the pass.
But don't look now. Kev Shearer just took a peek to the outside trying to find a way past. He's basically saying, if you can't find a way past that 92, let me have a go at it. But Stevenson's not wanting to move it either. This is his best run of the season so far, and he doesn't want to give up any of his track position.
Yeah, and what all this is doing is allowing the rest of these cars to get closer and closer towards the front. I mean, you can see this group, they're all racing each other, but they're gaining time on our leader, and that's going to make it this pit stop all the more important that we get in the next probably 2 to 4 laps, I'd say. You want to split this race pretty much right in the middle if you can. So we'll see who's the first in the pit lane, but as everybody closes in, it's just going to make that stop more important than it ever has been.
But for now, it's Ryan Griffin holding about a 0.2 of a second lead over Cam Stevenson. It's actually grown to 0.3 now. So Ryan Griffin's led every lap so far. It's going to be interesting to see if he can continue that for the entire race. I doubt he will with the pit cycle. But Stevenson's actually the one that has the fastest lap of the race now. So he's got a point that he's taken away from the 92. We'll see if he can get that and a few more, trying to make this pass once again. They're right nose to tail going into turn 3.
It is incredible how good Cam Stevenson is out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. He is able to rocket ship out of that corner, and now he loses so much time through turns 3 and 4. It's shocking the difference between these two cars at either end of the racetrack, and that's what's causing this big bottleneck. I think that what might be happening to Cam Stevenson is he gets so close, he's getting right up on his bumper, and you know, when you're not able to get any air in the front of that car, you're losing your water temperatures increasing, your oil temperatures increasing, your brakes are heating up, all the things, and your tires especially as well. All of that heating up, it's impacting the performance of the car. It's making it so that he's not able to turn as well, and that's probably something that he's dealing with in the cockpit of that vehicle right now.
Looking a little further back in the top 10, while the battle for the leads kind of waned a little bit. Aiden Smith having a very strong run in this 23 car for Motor Dash Racing, currently running just inside the top 10, with Aiden Clare right on his bumper. So a battle between these two Toyotas could be very interesting as they battle it out for 9th. But further up the field, we got a battle for 2nd on our hands. So as soon as we take a moment to take a focus towards the back of the top 10, we got a lead or change for 2nd, rather.
And I'll tell you what, Kev Shearer, when he went down in the corner, they were side by side, but he was able to use a little bit of that apron, just barely get those left side tires over that white line. That flatter part of the track allowed his car to rotate a little bit better down there, and he was able to use that to his advantage to try to clear for the spot. But now Cam Stevenson, way on the outside lane, is going to take the spot back, or at least try to, all the way out there, and it looks like we got pit stops. All of them are going to come into the pit right here. This is an incredible strategy move on lap 21, and Cam Stevenson looked like he wasn't going to pit until he saw everybody else pitting and got called in, crossed all the way across the track, and made it to the pit lane.
Yeah, Wyatt O'Quinn, Andrew Langley, a few others pit a lap before, but one who didn't pit on that lap was Ryan Griffin in the 92. Yeah. He's staying out an extra lap. This could hurt him a little bit on the pit exit, but he will have a lot fresher tires than those guys. Will that make a difference? It's hard to say, but he's got to be in the pits this next time.
Absolutely. You have to be reactive right here. You can't stay out for very much longer. And I'll tell you what, Ryan Griffin was at the disadvantage. He will be pitting this time, but he was at the disadvantage of being the first one past the pit lane. Everybody saw that he went by, and as soon as the window opened, they decided to make that pit stop. We've got a couple more staying out here, trying to run long to see if that overcut could work. It might pay off at the end of this race. Not sure.
But one of them that did stay out was John McFadden in this 27 car. Remember, he started last in this race and got caught up in that big crash in the opening few laps. But now, because of that, he pit on that first caution, got fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. He can probably run about 5 or 6 more laps at this rate.
It's true, yeah, and he could possibly do a little bit of a tire strategy situation if he wanted to make that attempt. Yeah, and of course, like you said, he's going to have fresher tires at the end of the race. So for him, this could be a huge benefit if it were to play out that way. John McFadden also going to lead some laps here and get a bonus point.
Another thing he could be hoping for is a caution flag too, because if that were to come out, he'd be trapping about half the field a lap down right now. So
look right here. Sorry to interrupt, but the tire difference we're about to see between John McFadden and these folks on new tires right here. Look at the difference as they come out of the corner. They're just rocketing past that 27 car, who looks to be trying to get to the bottom lane, possibly to make a pit stop here. Not sure.
If he's gonna make this tire offset work, he's gonna have to go quite a bit longer.
He will. Looks like he is.
And he doesn't even have a chance to pit anyway, because Anthony McClure in the 54 was the pit, or got underneath him, blocked his way to the pit. So John McFadden leads this race by about 28 seconds over Tegan Fox, who, remember, made that pit stop coming to the restart. They're going to be in a good position potentially here. But more importantly, look at this. This is the net battle for the lead after those two come in. Look at Ryan Griffin's falling to fourth behind these three.
Yeah, net fourth for Ryan Griffin after it all cycles out. And, of course, here's Tegan Fox, who has pitted the most recent of anyone before this most recent cycle. So this car can go farther than just about anybody who's currently out on the track longer than even John McFadden. So this is going to be fascinating to see how this strategy plays out. And, of course, like you said, if we get a caution in the middle of this, absolute monkey wrench. If we get a caution, it's going to be a huge
it wouldn't be as
changer.
bad now because so many people have unlapped themselves from McFadden. You see James Ellison and Kenneth Grant do that right there. So it's not going to be as big of a deal now. So I think the time for McFadden to pit should be within the next few laps or so. But I got to give him credit. He's trying something different. See if it works out for him.
Yeah, I agree with staying out, though, as long as you can. Now that you're in this strategy, you want to stay out there, and you want to maximize the amount of time you have on the fresh tires.
I think he's coming in now.
He's coming in right now, so that's a...
Well, he did stay out 5 laps longer than everyone else, so...
It's true, so we'll see. You're going to have the freshest tires for the rest of this race now, other than Tegan Fox, who could decide to make the pit stop here.
And Matt line themselves up with McFadden, but I think the 78 is going to go a little longer even still. Get a bonus point here because this race is already a wash for the 78. They're off cycle. They entered this run with a big disadvantage. I say take the bonus point for leading a lap. Just see how long you can run for.
Yeah, I agree with that. Completely agree there. And then now our new battle for the lead, or what will become the battle for the lead. Cam Stevenson leads the way, and they're 2 wide, battling almost 3 wide for what would be the net second position.
And don't look now, that lime green car, Ryan Arnold, is joining this battle as well. He had a good pit stop. So we got 5 cars under a blanket battling for what will be the lead of this race. Once Tegan Fox makes their pit stop, Fox is about 6 seconds ahead of that battling group. So, actually, if Fox stays out long enough, they might even catch the 78 without needing the 78 to pit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but look at how hard they are battling for this lead. This is for what would be the net lead. It's the 20 car of Kev Shearer on the inside lane, possibly trying to make a move all the way down on the apron now. An incredible move from the 20 car.
And they gained 2 seconds on the 78 that last lap. That just goes to show you the tire differential between Tegan Fox and that group of 5 battling for what's going to be the lead of this race. I would imagine Fox is going to come in probably at the end of this lap or maybe the next. We'll see. Nope, 78's going another lap.
Yeah, I think, again, this is just a solid strategy for the 78. Get out there, get some leading experience, like you said, and it's we'll see how it plays out. For the 78, it's going to have a lot fresher tires than everybody else and a lot more speed. Meanwhile, talking about more speed, the 92 car is back. He has been able to pass everyone with having 1 lap fresher tires, and now the 10 car is following through. So for net first and second, it's now Ryan Griffin and Ryan Arnold who have taken those 2 spots.
Yeah, that's going to be important here for the end of this race, and they gained another 1.5 seconds on the 78. I think this we're coming to 11 laps to go, and if the 78 is going to get any use out of those fresh tires, they're going to have to fit relatively soon. Yes, here they come into the pit now. Yep. That's going to give the lead back to, that's going to give the lead back to Ryan Griffin, but he's got to look over his shoulder now because Ryan Arnold is there. And remember, he has won his fair share of races when we've least expected it. Could this be another one of those cases?
Yeah, I mean, this has been something that we haven't really talked about Ryan Arnold for the majority of this race, but has been running a solid race so far. Started in 9th, gained a few positions, and just kind of rode during that whole first run, and now is sitting there in 2nd place with a real opportunity to take the win.
And he's the only Fair & Co. car in the top 10, so strong run from Ryan Arnold here. His closest teammate is Cody Goforth, who's still in 14th, but yeah, you can see McFadden fell back to 33rd after his pit stop. He's got to hope to pick off some cars at the end of this race because we now have 10 to go. But Ryan Griffin's lead's now a half second over Ryan Arnold, and that 10 car's got to push the go button because he cannot let this 92 get too far away. And there's a 78 exiting pit road. Will fall a lap down.
Yeah, definitely falling a lap down here. So we'll see if the 78's going to have the speed to maybe get up there and make a move to get back on the lead lap. I'm not sure if there's enough time, even if the speed is there, for this 78 car. So that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. An extra pit stop is always going to hurt your race. So a valiant effort from that team, regardless.
But remember, that car has 10 lap fresher tires than pretty much everybody they're battling. So that will make a difference by the end of this race as we enter 9 to go now. And the lead has pretty much stayed put at about half a second. So Arnold needs to get a move on, or else Kev Shearer is going to beat on his back bumper trying to get that 2nd spot back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, since the restart, we haven't seen the lead grow to this big of a gap. It's a half second right now. It is extending right now. So I think that all these drivers behind Ryan Arnold are probably feeling like it is time to get past this 10 car. We have to go. We have to get back up there. They all have the speed to be able to do it, but right now Ryan Arnold just isn't able to punch that hole through the air and lead this group to gain that much time on Ryan Griffin.
And no look now, Earl Sear and Robert Weaver coming up. We haven't mentioned Earl Sear's name pretty much at all today, and he's made his way up into the top 10 now in 6th place. So strong run from the 3. He really needed it to get himself into the playoff conversation. He's currently just outside the top 5, about a second off 5th place Cam Stevenson.
Yeah, Earl Sear has started in 20th place today, and that's a really solid effort from that team to get all the way up to 6th place. I wonder if there was some strategy involved with that move towards the front. So here's Ryan Arnold now running a little bit of a higher lane through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if that impacts this gap between the leader and himself.
And checking that gap at the lines, it's grown by another 10th. So with 7 laps to go, Ryan Arnold really needs to pick up the pace if he's going to have anything for Ryan Griffin, who is just pulling away piece by piece to a very big lead. And honestly, he would deserve this win if he were to hang on to get it, because this is a team that's really needed something good to happen. They got something good to happen at Phoenix, started and finished in 3rd place, but they've been looking for that win, that big points day, to really get them into the conversation. After a dreadful start to the season, I think this might be their day.
Yeah, so, I mean, Ryan Griffin, you're right. I mean, has just absolutely dominated this race, and even after falling behind on the strategy, fell all the way back to what would have been 4th place if they were the leaders at the time. Ryan Griffin was able to claw back past every single one of those cars and now start to pull away. So Ryan Arnold did make some gains on that last lap, though. Now the gap is back down to about a half a second between these 2 cars.
And I think now he's close enough to get the draft off the 92, pull him even closer to the back bumper of the Little Caesars Ford. We're going to see what happens, though, in the final 5 laps, because we are coming to 5 to go next time the 2 leaders cross the line.
Wow, and look how close it is now. You don't even need to see the gap to see that the 10 car is gaining time. Over the last 2 laps, this car has gained what we're going to see what it is at the line here. It's gained almost 3 tenths over the last 2 laps for Ryan Arnold. So this is an incredible comeback. Maybe was just hanging back, letting his stuff cool off a little bit so that he can make a big charge here at this point in the race. And right now, it is paying off.
But this is going to be a challenge because he's going to try and do something we haven't seen anybody manage all race long, and that is pass Ryan Griffin under green flag conditions. So he's going to have to get his elbows out, but we've seen him pull off some surprise wins before.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin, like you said, unpassable so far in this race, and has just risen back to the top every single time. I mean, this car is fast, set on the pole for this race, and then made it out of the pit lane. Made it through a restart. You had the restart, everybody got bunched back up, made it through that, just kept on leading the way. After the pit stop, drove through all the cars that passed in the pits and has gotten back to the front. So this is a big challenge for Ryan Arnold, but is he up to it? He might just be. He's right on the bumper of Ryan Griffin now down the back straightaway.
But we've seen this happen before. We've seen this happen before with Cam Stevenson. He's going to get to the back bumper. He's going to press against the back bumper, but he's going to have to let off in the middle of 3 and 4. The exact same problem Cam Stevenson had. He's going to have to need to find a way around that, especially now that we're coming to 3 laps to go.
It's just that Ryan Griffin is so good through turns 3 and 4. Nobody is able to get the run down into turn 1, which is really our big passing zone here. You have such a big arc going down off the front straightaway, the curved front straightaway here, that you're able to arc down into the corner, use up a little bit of that apron to help you rotate, and then get by on the bottom lane. You don't have that advantage down the back straightaway. So Ryan Griffin being so good coming out of turn 4 is allowing him to build that gap down the straightaway, and nobody can get to his bumper by the time they get to turn 1. So we'll see next time around if this 10 car is able to gain enough time to possibly be on his bumper entering a corner. I think that's going to be the only way. He's going to have to make that move, a big move down into turn 1 if he can.
But it's not going to come on this lap. He's too far back to make it happen. He's going to have to wait until the white flag comes out, which is now only 1 lap away from happening. So Ryan Arnold's going to have to build up his momentum, work up almost an Indianapolis-style pass on Ryan Griffin, and then defend for all his might after that to try and hang on. So we're coming to the white flag this time, and it's not over between these two. But with Arnold drifting further and further back, it looks more and more likely for the 92.
Yeah, and you're definitely not, if you're Ryan Arnold, you're not going to try to time that pass out like you would if it was Indianapolis. I mean, you need to pass as soon as you have the opportunity. And you know what? He has just been losing time since we've been talking. He's lost another 2/10, and it looks like he's going to lose even more on this lap, which is the white flag for Ryan Griffin. And yeah, his gap is going to extend. It's now almost back to a half a second ahead as he goes down into turn 1.
But look at the time Ryan Arnold just closed in the middle of 1 and 2. That's what he needed to be that little bit closer to the 92 if he was going to make that pass. I think this is going to be an opportunity gone away for Ryan Arnold.
He's going to have one more chance going into turn 3, but I just don't think he's going to be close enough. He's going to have the speed from the draft, but he's not close enough to make the move.
Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. It's been a dreadful start to the year for Fingai Saitomi Motorsports in the Nitro National Series, but Ryan Griffin has picked it back up with a 3rd place at Phoenix last time out, and now a win, his first of the season here at Denver Motorsports Park.
Wow, and what a win it was. An absolutely dominating performance from Ryan Griffin, who holds off the 10 car at the end of the day of Ryan Arnold. He made a charge, he made an attempt, but it just wasn't enough to pass Ryan Griffin, who seems to be back from hiatus, it seems. I mean, that car at the beginning of the season, we were shocked. Everybody was shocked watching this series and not seeing Ryan Griffin contending week in and week out. Everybody, he's back, and look out, because it's going to be a tough road for all the competition now that car is performing at the level we expect.
5th career win for Ryan Griffin in the Nitro National Series, 2 behind Alex Verjeperub's all-time record, and looking further back for the rest of the top 10. Some great stories back here. Cam Stevenson gets his best run of the season in 5th, and how about Logan Williams? We didn't mention him much all day, but you never can count out that 83 car. Started 29th today, brings it home for a series-leading 6th top 10 of the year.
Yeah, really good run from that 83 car, just to keep plugging away. I mean, that's the kind of thing. If you can have a run where you don't have a great day, you don't get mentioned a lot, but you can still knock out that top 10. maybe even the top 5. You're going to be looking really good in the championship, and that's what's happening with Logan Williams right now and several of these other drivers that we're watching. But yeah, hey, what a great race we had here today. We had a big crash in this race. We had some pit strategy, and we had a really fast Ryan Griffin that just dominated the day and took home a well-deserved win.
And boy, was this a good time for him to get that win, because next week we go back to his absolute least favorite type of track when we head out west to Sonoma, California for the road course race out in wine country. We look forward to, well, he's not going to look forward to it, but I'm sure the rest of us are going to look forward to that one. So we hope you join us for that. But from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye from Denver Motorsports Park. We'll see you again in Sonoma in 1 week's time. But congratulations to Ryan Griffin. He got his season right back on track with a big win. He led all but 7 laps today out in Denver Motorsports Park.